Hello dear students, welcome to the lecture 8 of Introduction to Programming with C# course. So I'm going to start a new project as usual. So this week we are going to see checkboxes, radio buttons and list boxes, file stream, using list reversal, panels and more. Okay, so let's create a new project as usual. Okay, VPF.NET Core. Okay, and user-defined classes. We have made entrance to this already. Okay, so these things will start to make sense to you more and more with each lesson as we progress. You will start to understand them better in details. And however, as I said previously, please write the code yourself at home. Okay, not just copy paste from my uploaded code. That will help you tremendously. Okay, I will start with showing you how to use panels. So to use panels, I will use stack panel. Stack panel. Okay, this is the VPF control. So I have just dragged it from here to here. Okay, it is added like this. However, currently it doesn't have any width or height. Therefore, I have to change it myself. There's also dock panel and wrap panel. Okay, this should be good enough. So when I click this, I think it is currently selected and it is taking the full space. Okay, so inside stack panel, it has added another panel which I don't need right now. So let's check its properties. I think there's width, let's say 200 pixel, and height, let's say 200 pixel again. Okay. So you see the panel is now visible like this. I have added width and height. I am going to move it to like this. Okay, so what does stack panel do? Let's check that. Okay.
Stack panel is a layout panel that arranges child elements into a single line that can be oriented horizontally or vertically. By default, stack panel stacks items vertically from top to bottom in the order they are declared. You can set the orientation property to horizontal to stack items from left to right. Stack panel defines border properties that let you draw a border around the stack panel without using an additional border element. The properties are stack panel, border brush, stack panel, border thickness, stack panel, corner radius, and stack panel padding.
Okay, so as you can see, it is more about rendering and position of the elements. So today we are going to see the radio buttons and checkboxes as well. So radio buttons can be used as a group. Okay, so I am going to add multiple radio buttons and let them only one of them to be chosen at a time. So I am adding them like this, as you can see. So you see they are getting vertically aligned from top to bottom. I can change their features as well. Okay, so let's say you have multiple options and you want only one of them to be chosen by the user. To do that, we can achieve that like this. Let's say our choosers can be authority level. Okay, so I'm going to make them such as how to make it. Okay, I'm going to make them as Ruby user. Okay, radio button user. And let's give the name as Ruby student. I will make it as guest. Student. And let's make this as lecturer. And let's make this as admin. Okay, so let's run the application and see the behavior of them. By default, I should be able to select only one of them. Yes, it is like that. As you can see, I am able to select only one of them because now these are as a group. Okay, I'm going to get some more let's say properties to this stack panel. What can we do? We can, I think, add UC orientation. Make them like this or this. Okay, and maybe we can add some padding. I don't know if there's padding or not. Okay, there's background as well. Let's add a background from here, for example. Okay, like this, or it can be gradient as well. Okay, and let's change opacity is fine. Opacity max. Okay, this is fine. Let's change the font. Okay, there is automation, transformation, and miscellaneous. Okay, I wonder if there is a padding option. Okay, border padding. Okay, this is interesting. Let's try this feature. So padding should let us have. Okay. Oh, it didn't work as I wanted. So what I want to achieve is having padding of elements inside. This is not working as expected. Okay, so there's margin. Events and Oh, I see. This makes sense. Let's try this. So what I'm going to add is I'm going to move to the XAML window fully like this. I'm adding stack panel resources, and type will be radio button, and this will give me a margin of, I think, X axis. I will make it X and Y axis, or let's make it everywhere like this. Okay, let's try this. And let's return to design. Okay, now you see these elements are not as before. They have now spaced out evenly with 10 pixels. We have achieved it with adding margin to these elements, each of them, but not by one. We have used target type with X type equal to radio button. I didn't know this previously. I just did it from checking the internet. This is how we do the things. Okay, so you see now they are having 10 margin. Okay, it is like as we want. Okay, so now I can add also a button inside this. However, it will also get to the very top, very bottom like this, a button. Let's make this a bit bigger. So you see this is extremely useful for styling and grouping our objects. Okay, and I'm going to set this button as, let's give it a name and some features. Okay, and let's say show selected option. Okay, and when we run it, currently no option is being selected, as you can see. I can select one of them and no, this selection is possible. So let's add a click event to this button. Okay. So then I'm going to switch, and no, switch wouldn't work. I will check something. Okay, content. Okay, it seems like we can put the same name to all of them. Okay. There's also group name. Okay. So to be able to see which one of them selected, we need to add them group name. Okay, let's first make them with the regular way. So this is not the appropriate way, but I will just show you how to make it. Okay, let's name this message. Let's make it string. So this is a method that takes no parameters and it will return a string. I'm going to make it like this. If Rivi guest is selected, it is enabled. not enabled. Is checked. Okay, is checked is the correct parameter. The message will be equal to and okay, it seems like we have to explicitly let it know, because this is both get and settable. That means you can either get or set. Therefore, we have to explicitly tell the compiler that it is get. By get, what I mean, currently with this equality, it uses get method to check the status of the is checked true or not. Let's make this as student selected, and let's make okay, what if nothing is selected? I can check that by two methodology here. I can use if string is null or empty method and show message equal to true, which means that if this string is empty or null, this if will work. Alternatively, I can use this. Alternatively, if the length of show message is smaller than 1. So the length gets the number of characters in the current string, which is 0 characters at the moment, and if none of the radio buttons is selected, these will work. Empty. However, there is a crucial difference. Let's say if this is null, okay. If this is null, this will throw you an error. If the string is null, this below method will throw an unhandled error. Let me show you. Okay, we have one. It wants me to return show message. Okay. I will show you each case so you will understand better. So currently, my string is null. Okay. And I didn't select any of the options, so I click this. And we haven't called this, by the way. We have to call it like this. I'm restarting the application. So this is the method call. It doesn't take any parameters. It will return a string. However, I don't have to assign returned value to anything. Okay. Okay, so I am currently doing a debug. So none of the radio buttons is selected. So you see this is checked false. Is checked false. Is checked false. Is checked false. Therefore, the string is currently null. And if string is null or empty, which is true, you see it gets into the inside of if. And here, now it will throw me an error. It says throw an exception of type system null reference exception. So when I continue, object reference not to set an instance of object. So strings are object types. However, they are immutable. Therefore, since this is null, I am not able to use length method because it is null. So I can use this method, or I can add a null check, which is a feature of newer generation C#. So this will ensure that this question mark will ensure that the right path of the length is only checked if this object is not null. Okay, I will just copy paste to not confuse you. So I'm going to make this a comment. Let's say this length is actually a method that returns, or let's say rather than method, it is a property of a string that returns the length of the string. You see, it says that the number of characters in the current string returns. So this will not throw an error. Let's try it. This will not get inside of the if though. Okay, so this will not work because our um, string is currently null. Therefore, it will not get inside of if. You see, it didn't get inside of if. So, if string is null, this will not execute it. Let's show it like. Okay, and here empty. So this question mark is called as, let me find it for you. Okay, it is called as, let's check the, okay, this is an operator. It is a null coalescing operator or something like that. Yeah. There's also this one. Oh, I have shown you this, I think. So let's see the English of this page. And these are operators, I think. There is null forgiving operator. Oh, this is a C# 8 features. Oh, interesting. I have never used this one. This is not what we want. Maybe this is pointer related. Oh. No. It is called as null conditional operator. Okay. Yes, so it is called as member access operators and expressions. So you see it is showing that dot to access nested namespace within a namespace. That is how we call methods or properties. Index operator like this. Indexer access, other usages of index. Okay, null conditional operator here. So this is called as null conditional operator. Like this. Okay. So it says that
Available in C#6 and later, a null conditional operator applies a member access, or element access, operation to its operand only if that operand evaluates to non-null, otherwise, it returns null, that is. If A evaluates to null, the result of A, X or A, X is null. If A evaluates to non-null, the result of A, X or A, X is the same as the result of A, X or A, X, respectively.
so this is a null check and it prevents null reference exception like we have in our example. Okay, so if none of the radio buttons is checked, I will check one of the radio buttons randomly and recall this method. Okay, so let's do that inside here. And how am I going to do that is I'm going to edit here. Okay, or let's edit to the bottom. And how am I going to do that is so easy. Let me show you. I am going to generate a list of radio buttons like this. New list. And here I will assign my buttons to this list like this. And so this will only get this list will only hold their references, addresses. Therefore, whatever the changes I make, the elements of this list will affect these, because these are the elements of this list is actually these objects. Okay, and let's pick a random number. Rand generator. Next, it will be minimum. You see there are overloading, so it will be minimum 0 and the maximum value will be equal to number of elements. Okay, so this will generate numbers between minimum and less than max value. You see it will be greater or equal to mean value, so it can be 0, and it will be less than max value, so it won't be equal to number of 4, because this list have 4 elements, and therefore the maximum number it will return will be equal to 3. Zero, okay. And I will make the index of this is checked true, and I will call this method again. Okay, so I'm going to remove these message boxes like this. Okay, and this will never be executed anyway, currently. And it will return show message. So but by the way, with this way we won't be seeing the first no selected. Okay. Okay, I'm going to first remove this so we can test it out. Okay, let's run the application. If you don't understand what is happening, always put a breakpoint and execute the application step by step, which is I am going to do right now to show you. So at first I didn't select any radio buttons and I'm just clicking the show selected option. It is starting from here. So none of them is selected and I generate a list. Currently my list holds references to these radio buttons, as you can see. So I can access these radio buttons with an index. It is what it does. I could use their name. However, I am using their references inside a list. Therefore, it is easier for me to modify them. Okay. And so if it is null or empty, it is null or empty currently. And it will return the message. So the message box will show me no radio button is selected, is null or empty method. Then what I am going to do is false and I will make it. Oh, I can use another methodology right now since I have added them to a list. I can use like this. Select, let's say, or yeah, we can use select. And I will use a link queue here. This is a link queue expression, which is shown here, lambda expression. You can read about lambda more here. Okay, let's read it actually.
A lambda expression is an expression of any of the following two forms.
Let me add this to our source code. Okay, let's read it.
Expression lambda that has an expression as its body. Statement lambda that has a statement block as its body.
Currently we are using expression lambda.
Use the lambda declaration operator equals greater than to separate the lambda's parameter list from its body. To create a lambda expression, you specify input parameters, if any, on the left side of the lambda operator and an expression or a statement block on the other side. Any lambda expression can be converted to a delegate type. The delegate type to which a lambda expression can be converted is defined by the types of its parameters and return value. If a lambda expression doesn't return a value, it can be converted to one of the action delegate types. Otherwise, it can be converted to one of the func delegate types. For example, a lambda expression that has two parameters and returns no value can be converted to an action less than t1, t2 greater than delegate. A lambda expression that has one one parameter and returns a value can be converted to a func less than t result greater than delegate. In the following example, the lambda expression x equals greater than x asterisk x, which specifies a parameter that's named x and returns the value of x squared, is assigned to a variable of a delegate type.
Okay, you will understand lambda expressions as we use them. So here what I'm going to do is I will select checkboxes where I'm using where PR is checked equal to true. So this means that by PR you can give any name to it. It is parameter. So in this case it is radio button. This means that on the right side of the lambda expression it will check each one of them. Okay, and if they are true, I will get them to an array like this, and I will get the length of the array, and if it is equal to 0, that means that none of the radio buttons is selected. This single line of code is equal to actually this. Okay, I will show you the other way as well. Count equal to 0, and what I'm going to do is and okay. So this, you see, this is how many lines? It is 6 lines of code is equal to this. Actually, there is also this one, so this, it is 7 lines of code. So which lines here? So all of this is written inside single line of code here. It is same, they are same. However, this is more efficient way to do it. And by the way, if this is true now, it will enter inside this if statement as well. By the way, I will add some comment here so you will understand. 1, 2, okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so these 7 lines of code is written in a single line of code. Okay, so I have put a breakpoint here. I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to click the show. So you see it is 0 already, but it will be executed here as well. So if it is now inside if, and I will generate a random generator, I will generate a random number here, and my random number is 1. Therefore, which one of the radio button will be modified? The second, which is student, I believe. Okay, no radio button selected is null or empty, and now student is selected randomly, and when I click, you see student account is selected. Now I can select one of them as I want, and I can show that. Okay, I can also add a clear selection button like this. And to do that, what I'm going to do is I will take this list at an upper level like here. So this list will be available to all elements inside this class. However, it says a field initializer cannot reference non-static field. Therefore, what I need to do is I need to call it after the constructor. So this is And so you see it says initialize component, and then I'm going to do my list initialization. That way now I can access this list inside every one of the methods or classes written in this scope, in the scope of this class. Okay. So I can now add another button to uh, clear the selection. By the way, I am going to, you see this is added randomly. I'm going to remove them. And let's remove this as well. What I'm going to add is, there is style type X type button. Maybe can we add like this? I don't know if this will work or not. Type X type. Hmm. Hmm. Maybe like this. It says okay, someone has already asked the question. Hmm. Okay. So let's apply this methodology. Okay. And X type button in this case. And base it on, it says command style. Let's give it a name, X key. Command style. Okay, now it should work. Okay, and now this will be btn clear selection. And let's create a new event. Hmm. Oh, I see. So it won't allow me to do this because they are different type. Therefore, I have to copy and paste this like button. Okay, and now it should work. Okay, let's try it. Okay, it says you have already key. So comes the key R and key B. Okay, we didn't use these keys by the way, but they can stay. Okay, let's run the application. Okay, button is running and oh, I see. My 10. This setter property is gone right now. And why is that? Maybe because of key. Let's remove the key. Okay, now it works. And now I have to make my the stack panel bigger. I will also change the style of these buttons from here. Let me show you, and they will be applied to also shader property margin, and let's add another shader property. Shader property. It should automatically have font size. Okay, value is, let's say, 15. I could also make this by 1y, but I will show you. By the way, you see you can close the shader like this or like this, both is fine. So this will be applied to all radio buttons, and the value font size will be 15. Okay, as you can see now they are bigger. However, I could also use the set it like this from here. When I click here, okay, my computer is a bit slow right now. Okay, font size equal to 20. I could also set each one of these properties like this. However, it would be not as efficient as like this, modifying all of them. So this should override the previous value, I think. Okay, so you see now admin has bigger font size. The others are still fine. And let's set the font size of the button as well. I will make the buttons 16. Let's run it. Yes, now they're bigger. Okay, let's make the clear selection. So with clear selection, what we are going to do is we will do for each inside our list, which is now available to this method call as well, because it is defined here. Therefore, it will be available to all methods and classes defined inside this scope. Okay. So it is about scope level. So if they are at the same scope level, let's call this is the scope level 0, 0, and scope level 1, 1, and so since scope level 1, it will be available to all scope level 1. This is also scope level 1, And this is also scope level 1, scope level 1. And so you see now this is being scope level 2. Why? Because it is inside scope level 1. Therefore, it can access to all lower scope level elements, which are scope level 1 methods or scope level 1 um, properties and attributes, fields, whatever there are. So it is about your scope level. However, if there being another scope level here, it becomes now a local variable. What I mean is something I will define here. So this will be available to only within this scope. You see, it is a local variable because it is defined inside a method. However, this is defined inside a class, therefore it is field. Okay, so these are differences. So because this is defined inside this scope, it can be used all the below scopes. Like here, let's say I can define a class here, class my temp equal to like this. So I can define another scope here. Okay. And I can okay, it has broken my scope. Okay, it appears that we are not able to define a class inside constructor, I think. Can I define it here? No. So classes can be defined only inside other classes. It appears that. However, I can define a class here. And now inside this is scope level 1. I can define another class. Okay, not get confused. I'm going to delete this. You will understand it as you use. And so this will be radio button and is checked equal to false. This is same as this for each is same as writing each one of the radio buttons is checked equal false. Okay. So, but if there are 100 radio buttons, you have to write every one of their names, which is inefficient way of doing radio buttons. Okay. So, so this is same as this one. However, you see this is very dynamic. You should always try to dynamically code your program, okay? Which is much more efficient, and I can increase the number of radio buttons here as many as I want, and so I wouldn't be need to write each one of their names if I use the list method. Okay, so let's run the application and see if it is working or not. Okay, clear selection. Now clear it, and now randomly one of them is selected. Clear it. Okay, clear it. You see guest one is selected. Clear it. This one, this one. You see admin is selected and such. Okay. So an alternative way would be for increasing our dynamic naming, we can add a group name to radio buttons. Okay, so I will tell them as Rebis user levels. Okay, like this. So I will put each one of them as a group name, and okay, now instead of accessing them by name, now I can use their group name. How can I do that? How can I do that? So proper way. Message. This time I will enumerate all the radio buttons which are part of a group name. Okay. Okay, this is the lame way, as you can see. Okay, here. This is the way. Find descendants. So what is our window name? Main window. And find descendants. Okay, it doesn't have find descendants. Let's use this. Does it have? Find name. Okay, it was like this, maybe. Let's try this way. Okay. Okay, this doesn't work. Controls doesn't exist in the VPF, so it is WinForm. I need to find VPF version. Okay, this is the sender method. Okay, maybe this works. I will try this. Okay. It looks really advanced thing. Okay, this is the way it is. Okay. So my container, oh, it doesn't contain containers. Yeah. Okay, this looks pretty advanced. Therefore, it looks like it is hard to achieve in VPF. Okay, it looks like we have to use an extension. Otherwise, it is not possible in VPF. Therefore, I am going to add an extension. So I am not sure if this will work or not. Find visuals. Okay, to be able to use this, I'm going to add using static dot lecture 8. Extensions. Okay, now it works. And we will look for radio button. RB. Okay, and here if RB dot. Okay, there is group name. Okay, nice. Now it works. Equal to so what group name we have given our radio buttons here? This one. I'm going to generate another radio button list. Buttons list. Or let's name it like this. Add review. Okay. Now I have generated my list. I'm going to put it here. So instead of defining their names by one, I can use this method. And by the way, to do that, let's compose another radio button list. This time I will put them like this without using a stack panel and you will see the difference. You see now they are not getting automatically positioned. Okay. And now all of them will be ungrouped. Therefore, they will be used in that particular scope. What I mean is, let me show one moment. Let's return show message for now. Okay, you see now they are not grouped. If I want to group these ones, like these two is as a group and these two as a group, I have to give them a group name and or put them inside different stack panel. So I will give them a group name. By the way, I should also give this a value as a value. What was the name of the value? Okay, data context. I think it is this one or something like this. Data context, that is data context and content. So data context is a property and let's make the guest. I will use the data context for these new ones. So these new ones, let's make them like let's give them some random scores. Okay, so let's make this one score as 100 or 50. So the content of this will be DD. Okay, and give it a group name. Let's make scores of letters. Let's copy and paste this like this. Group name, content AA. Data context will be 100 and let's give these two different something different. So let's say letters of scores group name. So content will be 50. Data context will be DD this time. And okay, this looks good. AA 100. Okay, let's run the application. Now I should be able to select each one of the elements. I mean, one element inside at each group. So I can select use. Okay, I can select 100 and I can select DD and I can select lecturer because now all of these radio buttons belong to different groups. Okay, so radio button is about selecting single option from a group of options. It is what is used for. Okay, Now I am going to dynamically add them to the list. I haven't given them custom names to access them manually. They only have group names. Okay, one moment. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, and let's name them as scores of letters and letters of scores. Letters and scopes. So scores of letters here and letters of scores here, and the group names are as scores of letters. And you see, I didn't give them any name to access the specific radio button. Therefore, I can generate hundreds of different radio buttons and I can add all of them at once to my list like this, and I will also read their values. So now that I have their lists generated, I can show as like this, leaders of scopes button, and go to true. Content plus over n plus data context. Let's name it as the okay, and I am going to use this as at range, and with at range I will add the other one as well. So with one for each loop, now I will I will make this as 2 1. It doesn't work. Oh, I don't need to do anything, perhaps. Hmm. Leave list radio button. Okay, I will show another interesting thing. At range. Okay. It doesn't work. This is really interesting. Maybe we should make it like this. Okay. Oh no, it doesn't work. Okay. So I have to write it like this. So I have composed a new list from the existing lists and added them together. So with only single for each, now I will loop all radio buttons. Okay, let's run the application, and we haven't added a call for this one. So this method has 0 references. I will add a new button to call this. So the basic idea of radio buttons are grouping and letting user to select only one of the possible options. Okay. Mm, okay. Show selected button radio buttons. And on click. Okay, I can call the method like this because this method will return string. Therefore, here there will be a string. Okay, so the result of this method call will be passed to the message box show method. Okay, so I can use it like this as well. Okay, when I click, okay, it says it is null. It appears that our method didn't work. Why? Let's find it out. So we had a problem here, apparently. So, okay. The problem is that our find visual children method returns nothing. It is null. It didn't enter inside this for each loop. So when I click step into, you will see that there is it will find no object. Okay. Hmm. So our iteration method didn't work. Okay, this object is our main window. I can visualize it, and let's see if we can find the children here. I'm trying to find if there is somewhere available the children. Okay, it is not null, however, it can't get the children. Okay, Visual Tree Helper. Why Visual Tree Helper is not working? Because Visual Tree Helper is a method of Windows Media. However, we are using VPF. Okay, so this looks a better methodology, and I will replace this method. There's Python child name. This is interesting. Maybe we can use this rather than using X name. Let me check this. I wonder if this will work. Radio button, find name. Yeah, it looks like working. Maybe find resource, common visual ancestors. Maybe group name. Good one, but ensure control is loaded, otherwise get to the okay. So it seems like we had to have control to be loaded, therefore, okay. Okay, it appears that our call order is incorrect. Okay, so after public window is executed, we have to call it, I think. Yeah, still error. So let's call it inside here. This should still initialize it. However, it would initialize it every time when we click. So we will add a solution for it as well, but I have to be sure that it works. Okay, now it did find the radio button. However, now okay, now it works. Okay, so okay, it appears that user control visible changed. Oh, this is a nice way. Yeah, but it is really complex for you. Therefore, I will make it like this. If score letter equal to null, okay. So this will be only entered once, as many without depending on how many times we click the button. It will initialize the list like this and list like this and then. Okay, so when I click the show button, there is a better way too, but it becomes even more complex and harder to understand. They are about events handling. I am not going to show that right now. So when I click this button, it will check that this list is null or not. Since it is null at the beginning, it is not initialized, it will enter inside this if scope. It will initialize the list as empty lists. Then it will iterate through to all radio buttons and add them to the list if their group name is these ones. You see the first iterated radio button is RBS user levels, which is this group we have defined it here. So you see it is starting from here and continuing, and it will add all of them to the list. So you see it did print empty because none of them is chosen. When I click again, now this if will not be entered because it is not anymore null, it is initialized. And you see now it will continue as expected. And let's delete this breakpoint, and I will select 100. So it should show me, okay, the content of the selected button is 100, yes, and the value of the selected radio button is AA, and the other one is null. So I will select this one. Okay, and it will show the content of the selected button AA, the value of the radio button is 100. Okay, to remove the confusion, let's modify the program a bit more. So let's make this as CC and content 60, and let's make this BB and content 70. And if message is null, we will display another message on the message box. Let me show you. Let's check it through. Okay, so here we are showing extra time, so I'm going to remove this like this. Okay, and okay, so if the message is null, I will set it a default value. So let's say okay, now it should work better. Okay, when I click, it will say no radio button is selected. When I select 70, it will tell me that the content of the selected button is 70. The value of the selected button, radio button is BB. And I'm going to select this one. It will tell me that the content of the selected button is DD. The value of the selected radio button is 50. And it should iterate both of them though. Interesting. Oh, it only shows only the one of them. Why? Because only one message is returned back. Therefore, what I need to do is plus equal, and at the end I'm going to add some new lines like this. Okay, let's run it again. Okay, I click it, it says no radio button is selected. I only select this, it says no radio button is selected. The content of the selected button is 70. When I select it like this, it shows like this. So it's, you see, it becomes it is becoming confusing. So I am going to return a list instead of string, and I will change this to list. It will be empty, and this time we will add message to the list like this. And if list is empty, zero, we will add a message to the list. And return LST messages. Okay, and now you see this message box will not work anymore. What we are going to do is this will return a list this time. Message. And let's run it. Okay, now it should work as expected properly. I'm clicking, no radio button is selected. Clicking, the content of the selected button is 70, and okay, 1, 2. You see now it is all working. And the good thing is I can add many other radio buttons. Okay, like this. Let me show you. So let's copy and paste them. Okay, I have copied and pasted it. I have copied and pasted it. I have copied and pasted it. And I don't need to change anything. Okay. I can copy and paste as many as buttons I want. This. Okay. And I only need to modify the related values in the XML code here. So give them whatever the value I want. I'm going to do it like 99, 95, okay, AA1, AA2, 93, AA3, and let's give them 21, 71, 77, and 81, and 85. You see now it can be done in a dynamic way. Therefore, it is working much better. However, since I am not using any stack panel, I have to set the position myself. So you see now I can make it like that. It is working. And I didn't have to change any of the background code because I have made them dynamically to get assigned, to get used. Therefore, it is working without changing a code at the background. I think now you get the idea of radio buttons and stack panels. Okay. And so the lesson is getting more. I will show you the checkboxes. So with radio buttons, we are letting user to select only single option out of multiple options. Okay. What if we want to let users to select more than one option at a time? What if we want that? You see, this is a bad design right now. What I am doing is a bad user interface design, but I'm just doing it to show you right now. So with checkboxes, we can let user to check multiple options. Okay. Okay, and okay, I have added 3 checkboxes, and we can give them data context. So the first one will be, let's say, 50, or we can write them as lecture names, maybe lecture course 250, and let's say content will be object oriented programming. I'm going to remove this. Okay, and what was the code of the introduction to programming? Okay, see. And let's copy and paste this. Let's make this as and let's add another one. Let's say 307. Now we can let user or student to pick the lessons he is getting. Okay. Since they are lesson, they can select multiple. By the way, I am going to add a stack panel to make them better. So let's modify this with 100 width. Okay, let's move to design. Okay, now the stack panel is visible for me to modify. I'm going to modify it like this, and I'm going to take these objects into the stack panel. How am I going to do that? I'm going to do it like this, and let's get these checkboxes inside this stack panel. And let's see the design. Okay, they are not visible right now. And they are not visible because our stack panel doesn't have any width or height. Let's make 400 width and 200 height as pixels, and let's see. Okay, interesting. Okay. I'm looking for the properties window. Ah, it's here. Okay, from here, I can select the somewhere here. I can't find right now. We were able to select the object directly, but where was it? What is one? Containers? No. Not this one either. It must be somewhere here, but I can't find it. I should be able to pick the object I want. Okay. The stack panel is here. Maybe we need to set the PX. That is why it is not working. Okay. Yes. Okay, now the stack panel is here. However, the objects are not visible. Why? It is because probably the margin of the objects. Let's delete the margin of the objects. And yes, When I have removed the margin, now they are oriented automatically, oriented inside the stack panel. Okay, now it is better, and let's run the application. Because margin is done within the parent element. Okay, now you see I can select multiple of them as I want, and let's add a button to display which option are selected and their values. Okay, to do that, I will simply copy and paste a button from here to here. BTN checkboxes. Okay. Let's compose a new event for this one. Okay, it is created here. So this time I will just iterate through the checkboxes instead of writing them as here. I can also turn this into a method call. However, just copy paste for now. Okay. And this time it will be checkbox, checkboxes, and per checkbox, and let's make it like this. If is checked equal to true, okay, and checkbox show content, and value will be so you see I can add as many as checkboxes I want. However, this will iterate through to all checkboxes inside this main window. So if I add checkboxes here as well, it will iterate through them as well, because I didn't group them. I can group them if I want to, like radio buttons. So let's just show. You see nothing. When I click this, it says checkbox content, software engineering checkbox value. And if I check this as well, it will tell me that I have checked 2 boxes. And if I make it like this, it will show me all 3 checkboxes. I can also add group name to them to have multiple checkbox groups. Let me show you. Oh, there is no group name. So what else there is? Maybe we can use the parent name like first group, and I can utilize this to group them. Okay, parent name, or what is that? Let's name it as panel parent. Okay, oh, that. I still can't get the value. Maybe I can use it like this in that time. Stack. What was the name we have given? Yeah, like this. Yeah. So with this methodology, I can group my checkboxes and make it iterate only this checkbox group. What I mean is, let's say if I copy and paste this stack panel and have another one, second group, and I will add different namings like this, and like this. And let's make the margin of these two different something. Okay, it says we have invalid markup. What is the invalid markup here? This one. I'm going to remove this. Okay. You can't have same unique name twice. Okay, you see now they are shown like, okay. So let's make this a little bit smaller. Okay, and let's make this like this. Okay, now the other checkboxes shouldn't be displayed even though I iterate all of the checkboxes because they are inside a different group. Okay, this works. Yeah, you see the other ones are not displayed. By the way, my button was not visible. I can fix it with, let me show. I'm going to remove this a little bit more and expand it like this. Okay, so this will only get the children inside this group. Okay, the other ones will not be iterated because I am only getting certain children of certain elements. I will remove that restriction. I will show you how it will work without that restriction. So now it works like this, and I remove them and add this. You see nothing happens. However, if I provide it like this, by the way, this means main window. So you can use it as the object of main window. How was it? Yeah, you have to use this word. Okay. Lecture 8. Yeah. You can also call it like this. So this is equal to no. You have to use these keywords, otherwise it doesn't work. Okay. Anyway, I have removed the parent restriction. Therefore, now it will work for all of the checkboxes. Okay. So how you design, how you code your software, totally up to you. Now you see it is working and it is fully dynamic as before. Now it will show all of the checkboxes. So it is totally up to you. Let's limit this to group, let's say second group, for example. I have restricted to second group. And now it will show the second group. However, first group will not be displayed. Okay. So it is the same logic. Once you get the logic, the idea, you can do it as you want, as you wish. Okay. So we have shown radio buttons, checkboxes. And let's show list box and add a colored item to a list box. I think in the previous lecture we have already shown the list boxes. And let me open the context. Okay, introduction to programming, lectures, object-oriented programming. Okay, we didn't show the list box or not. You can also see it from here. 1 second. Okay, let's add the list box. So list boxes are extremely useful objects of VPF and WinForm. Okay, I'm going to add a list box. So this list box currently covering all my interface. I think there was a way to select it from here, but I can't find it. Maybe arrange by name. Okay, so you see currently the last added element list box is selected, and I understand it from here, and I will change width and height of it from this window. You can also do from you see when I change it to max width, it is set like this. Let's modify it. Let's drag it over here. Okay, now we have our list box, and I am going to expand our main window screen size like this. And what is this? Okay, it is still working width. Okay, let's set it a width, not a max width, because when you set max width, it will be getting expanded based on that. Okay, okay, now we have our list box, set it like this, and let's give it a name, list box 1. Okay, so list boxes are lists, basically lists that can be elements added, removed, or changed. I will show you what I mean. Okay, let's add some values to our list box from here. Currently button element is selected. Let's give it a, we can add random numbers. Okay, let's give it a name from here, content numbers, and let's generate a click event from here. Double tap. Okay, it is generated. And random round equal to new random. Let's add 10 numbers, 10 random numbers. So you can access it like listbox 1 items at my round next. Okay, and let's format it with like this. Okay. So you see 10 numbers are added to my list box, And now I can modify, read or delete or do whatever I want with these values. I will show you them. Okay. So let's add another button. Let's make it a little bit smaller. I will call this button as BT and change this box, or let's say modify. Okay, so let's give it a new content. Modify this box, and let's change the click event of the button. Okay, let's do it from XAML here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I will set the third item in the list box to something different. Okay, I can do it like this. This will be equal to 900 million. Okay, if I make it like this, what will happen? By the way, you have to set it like this, items too. If there is no item, if there is no item at the index of 2, it will throw me an error. Okay, let me show you what I mean. If I click this, I will get an error that specified argument was out of range of valid values because items list is empty. How can I fix that? I can make a null check like this, and now it should work. Let's try it. Maybe like this. Oh no, I can't use it. We have seen the null check, but interesting. Why it is not working? Okay, I see. I have to put the null check here, not there. Like this. Yeah, let's try it like this. No, still not working. It says items get. Maybe like this then. Okay, it appears that we can't use the null check with list box. Therefore, I will add a manual check if items count bigger than 2. I will add it like this, so it will not crash anymore. Okay, modify, you see now it is working. I have added, and when I click, you see now it is modified as I wanted. And I I can also make it like this. Items, insert. Let's say with insert method, we can define the insert index. I will insert to third item, third index, and new item will be, let's say, this 75,000 billion. And for this work, this time, how many items we need? We don't, let's see. I think this will also throw an error if there is not enough items in the list box. But I am not sure if it has a default behavior of handling. Yeah, it is throwing an error. Therefore, this time how many items we need? We need at least 4 items because we are inserting to index 3. Let's see. This means that we have at least 4 items. Okay, yeah. And now check that this number will get one below, and there will be the new number. Okay, you see now this is the 5th item, this is the 4th item, and this is the 3rd item we have modified. And let's make something like this as well. Okay, what I'm going to do is I will items remove. You see, I can remove by name or index. I will remove the index 6, I mean 5. Okay, let's try it. Okay, nothing happens. So the 5th index item is currently this one. This is the 5th index. However, since we will add another item here, the 5th index item will be this one, and this will get removed. Now check it. Okay, it will get removed. Interesting. Let's reload. Maybe we did the calculation incorrectly. Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is 5th item, and this will become the new 5th item, so this will get removed. Okay, so let's check it out, and it is gone, as you can see. Okay, and currently the 5th item is this one, therefore this will get removed, and another of this one will get added. It will be like this. Okay, and no more changes because it removes this one and adds another one. And let's make, we have added removed. Let's make a removal like this, like that. Oh, let's show you how to, let's make a read of the certain index. Seven. I can read the value of the list box items like this. Okay. So if there are at least 8 items, I can read the item 7 and show it. So you see, you cannot convert from object to string. Basically, list box holds objects. So far we have added only string. However, you still need to use the string method. Now it will work. And you see it has read the seventh, eighth item, which has the 7 index. And let's click again. You see now I can read it. I can also add custom items to my list box, such as let me show you list box item, my custom item equal to new list box item, and I can make it like, you see there is content equal to, let's say this is what will be displayed, custom item something. My custom item data context can be, let's say, this will be some value. It can be like this as well. Okay, and I can also set I think it was foreground color. Okay, foreground color will be from brush dot, I think it is brush control foreground. Let's see, yeah, from brushes, brush, or interesting. It was brushes. Yes, from brushes. I'm setting the foreground as blue, and I will add this item. Okay, so you can also add custom items or objects. I'm adding this new list box item in this case, and I will show the data context of that item. Okay, how am I going to do that? Is list box items items last one. Oh, we can get the last. Okay, let's use it like this. Items count -1. This gets the last item, and I will get the data context. How am I going to do that? Maybe like this. Probably I have to manually define like this, and oh, not okay. Content data context set. There is set value. Yeah, we are doing incorrectly. So currently we can't assign another value. Maybe Maybe we can try like this. Yeah, dependency property key. Let's make this as key one. Something like this. I wonder if it will work. No, it doesn't work. And hmm, hmm. Okay, I think we can define a custom class to do what we want. I'm not sure. Yeah, we can't do that right now. Okay, I will just remove this. So there will be foreground. So this is how we can add colored items to list box. I will show you another method that will let you to do how to add custom objects to list box. It is another thing. So let's add random items. Let's click modify. You see, now this has blue color, blue foreground color. And let's change its background as well. Equal to brushes dot, for example, yellow. Okay, so you can modify the item displayed like this of the list box items. You can still read its value. You see now it has blue for color and yellow background color. I think we can also change its font, but I am not sure. Font size, let's say 20. Okay, and yes, you see now it has 20 font size. Okay. This is how you can add custom colored list boxes, list box items. And after adding this, we can still modify its value by accessing it. It is totally fine. Okay, I think I will continue next week. So let's write the today's week notes. Okay, so what we have seen today. Okay, and uh, Okay. Okay. And what else there is? This is actually the same thing, but I will still write it. Style, target type. Okay, and there is setter and property. Okay, and group name. Using mm, okay, we have shown this. In data context of this also. I will try something for one moment. Mm, okay, now I can read it. However, it doesn't implicitly convert object to Xbox item to do that. Okay, now it works. Data context is used for other reasons as well. However, now we can use it like this to read certain values. For example, I will set it some, let's make it like let's say squared mean. what I'm going to do is square root. Okay, yeah, square root. And to do that, I have to convert to double and replace or to string first and replace this to this and okay, and here string and 2. Yeah. Now with this I will read the value of the data context. With this I will replace the commas, and with this I will convert it to double, and with this I will take square root of the double value, and with this I will convert it back it to string. Okay, so let's check it out. Let's check the square root of this number. Okay, this is the square root. Let's verify it from Google. Yeah, this is the square root, and this is the value we get. You see, I only shown the two values after the floating numbers point, so it is correct, totally same. This show 6, so I can modify it to show 6 numbers after the 0, like this. Okay, and square root is you see, totally same. Okay, you see I am displaying something different, and I am getting the value of it at the background. It is totally up to me how to use it. Okay, let's continue writing. Okay. What else we see? We have seen how to use checkbox. Okay, and using data context. Okay, same. Mm, access. Okay. Okay, I think it is all. We have written an extension. However, this didn't work as an extension. To make this work as extension, I have to use this keyword, and if I add this keyword here, now I can remove this as well. Okay, and it would work. Oh, it doesn't work. No, it doesn't work. Okay, anyway, just let's don't change it. Okay. If I remove this, how can I call these methods? I can give the full path like static extensions dot. Now it works. Okay. So to not write this, I can add that class like this. With this way, I am adding. Okay. Okay, and what else? Okay, and okay. Okay. Okay, you may not be understanding all of the things we are doing right now. However, you will start to understand them as we see them in the upcoming lectures, and at the next semester there will be advanced programming, and we will see most of these again there. So you may just memorize them at the moment. However, in the future you will start to understand them. Okay, and at the next week, what else? We have shown this. We have shown this. Tops. Okay, I will also show combo box. Did I show it previously? I think I didn't show the combo box yet. Let me open it. Combo. Okay, it is here. Oh, we have shown the combo box. Okay, we have shown the custom class objects in combo box. Okay. Yeah, we have seen the combo box. Okay. Yeah, we don't need to show it. I am getting sometimes confused because I am also giving the lecture of object-oriented programming, and sometimes they are getting mixed. Okay, we don't need to show this. I think we can show the binding of Nixa. Okay, I think for this week it is enough. It is already over 2 hours and 30 minutes. I'm going to upload the source code as usual. Oh, by the way, we have a volunteer. So let's add the volunteer. Oh, I will do it later. Okay, I will upload the source code. Hopefully see you next week. Please try to stay away from coronavirus. Please try to follow the rules because coronavirus is really dangerous. Stay safe. Hopefully see you. End of lecture.